So we will be starting with virtual class initially. Let's go to the developer console and write a virtual class. I'll create a new class. I'll give it a name as my virtual class. So to make it a virtual class, I need to add virtual word here. Now this is a virtual class. We can define methods inside a virtual class as we define in the normal class, but the catch is we can add a virtual keyword to that methods as well. We will see that now. So here I have defined a simple static method. It is not returning anything and it has a input parameter as name, which is a string. So as I mentioned, we can add virtual to this as well. If we are making method as virtual, then we cannot make it as static. So this would be a virtual method inside a virtual class. So we can define logic here inside this method, but for time being, I'll just debug a statement here. I'll debug the name of the class inside which it is, and the method name, and whatever parameter we passed. So this is simple virtual class with one method. I will add another method to this. This is a second method which also performs same debug statement but with change in method name. Okay, so we have created virtual class, and inside that virtual class there are two uh, methods, virtual methods. So now I can extend this virtual class. Basically, the virtual class would be a parent class. I'll write parent here. Okay, so now if I'll be creating a new class, which I am naming as my extended class, which will be extending this virtual class there. So public class, my extended class extends. Now once we extend uh, virtual class inside any other class, so the class which is extending it, the virtual class is a child class now. Okay, so now we can define methods here, whatever method. So now this is a method inside a extended class. I'll name it something else because it might be confusing otherwise. I'll name it method 3. Parameter as well, we can name param 3 here. So now we have defined one method here. But what is the use of extending virtual class inside this class then? If we are not using the methods of this class, then what is the use? So basically, extending a class will allow us to use the method of a parent class into the child class. So how we can do that is by overriding methods. So for overriding purpose, we need to define same method in the child class, but with the override keyword. So what this does is it will override the method from the uh, parent class and give whatever logic we will be defining in the child class. So I'll be changing the debug statement just so that we know from which class it is debugging. I'll save this. Okay. Now we can call this class and we can call this method 1 of that class. As we can see, it is my extended class dot method 1 and the name of the parameter passed. So this debug statement is from extended class. As you can notice or see, the method 1 in the parent class has my virtual class, but that is not the case in the debug statement. It is my extended class, which so we can confirm that the code is executed for that method from the child class itself. Now we have defined only one method, method 1 inside a child class. Another method which was virtual, which is method 2, we have not defined, but we can still call this method in the child class from the object of a child class. So basically I'll give method 2. As you can see, I have not defined that method in the extended class here. Method 2 is not defined, but it is already defined in parent class. So there will be no issues and the code will run successfully. So the debug statement we get is my virtual class dot method 2. So as that method was not found in the extended class, it will go to the parent class and from parent class it will execute the code for that method. As we can see here in parent class, it is my virtual method dot virtual class dot method 2. So this is related to the virtual class. One more thing, now as we have defined a sorry here as we have defined method 1 overridden the method 1 already, can we call method 1 from the parent class? So for that purpose we need to define another method, and what we can do is we can use super keyword. Super keyword will refer to the super class which is a parent class. Super dot method 1. Okay, yeah, sorry, so static, it cannot be referenced in, and we can then we will be calling this method which is present in extended class. So as you can see my virtual class dot method 1 which is coming from the parent class or the virtual class which is defined. So this is one of the interview questions, like how we can, if the method is already overridden, how we can uh, call the same method from the parent class. So we can do it using super dot method 1, but we need to define a custom separate method for that, and we can call that method. That's all for today. In next part, we will discuss about the abstract class. Thank you.